How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the show. I'm Mike Starr, and on today's video, I'll be reviewing the movie and telling you all the synopsis of one of my favorite movies of all time. And that movie is Leaving Las Vegas. Such a great movie. Nicolas Cage, Elizabeth Shue. Nicolas Cage won the Academy Award for that film as Best Actor, 1995. The movie is based off a novel of the same title, and it stars some great actors. Nicolas Cage, like I said, Elizabeth Shue. It's a romance drama with these two characters. It's mainly based around the main character, which is Nicolas Cage, and about his addiction with alcohol. He's an alcoholic. He loses his job, and from losing his job, he packs up everything, leaves his old life behind himself, and moves to Las Vegas, where he wants to commit suicide by drinking himself to death. So in most scenes, you'll see Nicolas Cage with a bottle in his hand, a beer, whatever, right? And upon moving to Las Vegas, he literally runs into Elizabeth Shue's character, who's a street prostitute. He runs into her on the street with his car, almost runs her over, and they briefly meet. And then one day he's driving in Las Vegas, and he, stops the car, gets out, and he tells her, I want you for, I don't know, your services. So anyways, she comes back with him to his apartment, and they do the deed, but he's more interested in just talking to her, and he's drunk throughout the whole film. You rarely see him when he's sober. So yeah. Anyways, so when they meet, they're in the apartment, and they're talking, and they really have this connection. He's an alcoholic, she's a hooker, and they really have this connection. And he just says the most oddest things, the most poetic things, and he just does such a good job. He does, like, you really believe he's an alcoholic. So yeah, when they're in the hotel, they part ways after that night. But this had such an effect on Elizabeth Shue's character. They meet again, and they grow closer. And then after that, they start going out. They start living with each other, and she takes care of him, and then she starts to develop feelings for him. And the one thing he tells her that she can't do is to ever tell him to stop drinking. That's his one rule, because he wants to kill himself, and she's okay by that. But yeah, towards the end of the film, she changes her mind. She wants him in her life, and then he just goes crazier as the film progresses. And yeah, he just loses his shit. Then she catches him with another prostitute, Nicolas Cage. Elizabeth Shue catches Nicolas Cage with another prostitute. She gets really angry. They don't talk. And then towards the end of the film, they see each other again, and he's barely alive. And Nicolas Cage's character, which I should mention, whose name is Ben Sanderson, and Elizabeth Shue's character's name is Sarah. They meet up again at the end of the film, and he's barely alive, and he's drinking himself to death, and he's on his last his last legs, his last I guess he's on his he's living his last day, and he can barely get out of bed. And they start having sex, this and that, and then eventually dies. And yeah, then after that, you know, she tells the camera that, you know, it was just a whole new it was a whole new experience meeting this person. And for her, it changed her outlook on life, because even though he was an alcoholic and he wanted to kill himself, he was happy. He had this sort of happiness that she was drawn to, and he found something in her that, you know, made him enjoy the last days of his life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. To spoil the movie, but it's such a great movie. He won the award. He never thought he would win the award for this movie. As I've seen in an interview he did, he just did it just because he wanted to do it. Didn't want to get any recognition for it, but he did, and took a gamble on it, paid off. But yeah, Nicolas Cage, Elizabeth Shue, great movie, directed by Mike Figgis. It goes for about 119, 111 minutes, depends which version you see. There's an unrated version, there's an R18 version. The only difference between those two, one shows a tiny bit more nudity, like some additional scenes, and the other one shows a bit less of those scenes, but you barely notice the difference, because this is a favorite movie of mine, so I got both versions. And yeah, I like it because it's so unique. I have not read the book, but it's a book. It was originally a book, and they turned it into a movie, and I'm glad that they did, because it's spectacular. It's a masterpiece. It's a must-see if you haven't seen it. It's one of those films that not many people talk about these days, but it is amazing. Just one of a kind. Now, that's it for this video. I am Mike Starr. I'll catch you all on my next video. Wherever you are in the world, have a great day, and I'm out of here. Good night, everyone.